Hello everyone, Carson here, and in this video, I'm gonna be solving Wordle number 1373 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for March 23rd, 2025. So let's get this video started with Wordle number 1373. I'm gonna start with the word snipe. Okay, got the P and E yellow, so these two letters go somewhere else in this word. It could start with PR or PL as double consonants, even PH, but I don't know. It could also be followed by a vowel, like pearl. Let's actually try that, because all of these 5 letters are either vowels or commonly used consonants. So let's try pearl. Apparently not. Um, the P and E are still misplaced. So, um, hmm. Empty. Okay. If it's really empty, then wow. Okay, not. But I placed the P and Y, and therefore E is forced between the P and Y. Wait, what? Is it dopey or something? Really? Okay. Wow. Okay, I definitely did not expect that. Um, Took some time to find out where the P actually went. Um, and yeah, I just thought about for quite a while before guessing my third guess, but I eventually got there. Got today's Wordle answer dopey in 4 tries. This is Wordle number 1373. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is March 23rd, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. Okay, I see that these 5s force the digit 5 into this cell in block 2. These 5s point right, and these 5s point down. Okay, after I place this 5, this 7 points left. So the digit 7 in block 2 is forced into this cell. These 7s point left. Okay, in block 2, we have 3 open cells left. The missing digits, which go into these 3 cells, form a 1, 3, 6 triple. This cell sees 1 and 3, so 1 and 3 can only go into the other 2 open cells, making this only 6. These 6s point down, and we know that the digit 3 in block 2 is forced into row 2, so this 3, along with 3s here, points left. Oh, sorry. Wow, I am so blind. We already have a 3 in block 1. My fault, sorry. Um, but this 1-3 pair does mean that the other 3 open cells in row 2 form a 2-4-9 triple. These 2 open cells see another 2. So in row 2, the digit 2 is forced into this cell, leaving behind a 4-9 pair in these 2 cells. Okay, these 2's points left, and this cell sees another 2. So in block 1, the digit 2 is forced into this cell, and then 2 in block 4 goes into one of these 2 cells. The digit 2 in block 8 is forced into one of these 2 cells. We also have 2 going into one of these 2 cells in block 6. Oh, now that I see something in row 5. In row 5, the digit 2 is missing, so I have to put 2 somewhere in this row. But this cell sees 2, this cell sees 2, this cell sees 2, this cell sees 2, and this cell also sees another 2. So in row 5, the digit 2 is forced into this cell, because this is the only cell available for 2 in this row. So it can only go here, so I have to put 2 into this cell, because it can't go into any other open cells in this row. So the only place available for 2 in row 5 is in this cell. Alright, actually, after I place this 2, the digit 7 in block 1 is forced into this cell, leaving behind a 149 triple in block 1. In row 1, the missing digits in these 3 cells form a 168 triple. The digit 8 is forced into this cell, leaving behind a 16 pair, which makes these 3 cells a 459 triple. This cell sees a 9, so it's only 4 or 5. And actually, we know that the digit 9 in block 3 is forced into column 7. So 9's being here, with these 9's, force the digit 9 into this cell in block 6. So these 9's point left. And after I place this 9, the digit 2 in block 6 is forced into this cell. And then 2 in block 5 goes into one of these 2 cells. In column 8, we have a 1, 5, 6 triple in these 3 cells because these 3 digits are the missing digits of column 8. So this 156 triple means that the other 3 open cells in block 9 form a 347 triple. I guess I can fill out some rows or columns. For example, in column 3, the missing digits are 1, 4, 5, and 9. This cell sees 9, so it's 1, 4, or 5. These 2 cells see 1, and this cell sees 9. So this cell is 4 or 5, this cell is... Oh, sorry, this cell is 4, 5, or 9, and this cell is 4 or 5. Okay, this 8 points left, and this 8 points down. So, okay, along with the 3's. Alright, so in row 9, the digits 3 and 8 points left, and in column 3, the given digits 3 and 8 point down. And now look at block 7. The digits 3 and 8 are still missing. So in order to fit both 3 and 8 into block 7, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 3 and 8. So these 2 cells form a 3-8 pair, and this eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells. Right? Because we have to fit both 3 and 8 into block 7, which can only go into these 2 cells. So I have to make them reserved for 3 and 8. So this 3-8 pair eliminates 6 from this cell, because 6 is certainly not 3 or 8. So 6 cannot go into this cell. I can then force the digit 6 into this cell in block 7. Leaving a 4, 5, 9 triple in these 3 cells, this cell C5. Okay, it's the same concept is that 5 is eliminated from the 3/8 pair, and after 6 is placed into this cell, and this cell sees 5, the digit 5 in block 7 is now forced into column 3. So 5's being here eliminates 5 from this cell. But also, in row 9, after 6 got placed into this cell, all other open cells in this row see another 5, apart from this cell. But 5 still has to go somewhere in row 9 because it's missing, but cannot go into these 3 open cells because they see another 5. So in row 9, the digit 5 is forced into this cell, because this is the only cell available for 5 in the row, which makes this 6 and 1 because of this one right here. The digit 6 in block 8 is forced into one of these 2 cells. Okay, sorry, I've kind of a runny nose, so bear with me here. Okay, in row 9, the missing digits are 1, 4, and 9. This cell sees 9, so it's 104. This cell sees 4, so it's 109. Oh, okay, so in this 3/8 pair, we know that the digit 3 in block 7 is forced into row 7. So 3's being here eliminates 3 from these 2 cells, because we've already got 3 in row 7. So no other open cells in this row can contain another 3, because they see the 3 from the 3/8 pair. So after eliminating 3 from these 2 cells, the digit 3 in block 9 is forced into this cell. Okay, now this 4, 7 pair does the same thing, so 4 is eliminated from this cell. Okay, so you have a 3/8 pair, as well as a 4, 7 pair. So it leaves the remaining 4 open cells in row 7 containing 2, 5, 6, and 9. But this cell sees 2, 5, and 9. So it can only be a 6. You can do it in another method, which I usually do for double checking things. First, by fitting all digits into the cell and eliminating them, or eliminating the ones that the cell cannot contain, one by one. So this cell sees 1, 2, 3 from this pair, 4 from this pair, 5. It also sees 7, 8, and 9. So the only possible digits which could go into this cell is a 6. And keep in mind that in Sudoku, we cannot leave cells to be empty. So I have to fit one digit into every single cell to avoid empty cells. And if this cell cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9, and that it could only contain a 6, well then I must make the cell a 6, because 6 is the only possible digit which can go into this cell. So, to avoid empty cells, this cell can only be a 6. Alright, making these 3 cells a 2, 5, 9 triple, the cell sees 5, so it's 2 or 9. Okay, after I place the 6, the digit 6 in block 5 is forced into the cell, and then these 6's point right. Okay, after I place the 6, the digit 2 in block 5 is then forced into this cell, eliminating 2 from this cell. So, actually, the digit 2 in block 8 is forced into this cell. And then these 2 cells are down to 5 and 9, this cell sees 9. So 5 and 9 this way, which makes this cell a 4 and this cell a 5, making this cell 1 and 9. In row 8, the missing digits are 4, 7, and 8. This cell sees 4 and 7, so 4 and 7 go into the other 2 open cells, making the cell an 8. This cell now sees 1, so 3 and 1 are placed like this, which makes this 3 to complete the column. Um, in block 5, the missing digits are 4, 7, and 8. This cell sees 8, so it's 4, 7. This cell sees 4, so it's 7 or 8. This cell sees 8, so it's 4 or 7. Okay, the digit 8 in block 5 is forced into this cell. This cell now cannot contain 9. These 8s point left. Um, okay, let's have a look at row 5. The missing digits are 3, 6, 7, and 9. 3 can go into one of these 3 cells because this cell sees 3. We've got 6 here, 9's here, and 7 can go into one of these 3 cells. Okay, in column 1, the missing digits are 3, 7, 8, and 9. This cell sees 3 and 9, so it's only 7 or 8, and this cell sees 8 and 9, so it can only contain 3 or 7. And now we have a 3, 7, 9 triple in block 4. Okay, as you can see in block 4, these 3 open cells only contain 3 certain digits. In this case, these 3 open cells only contain 3, 7, and 9. So in order to avoid empty cells, I must keep 3, 7, and 9 in these 3 cells, because only these 3 digits are possible to be in these 3 cells. So these 3 cells, I have to keep 3, 7, and 9 in them. And this 3, 7, 9 triple eliminates 3s, 7s, and 9s from all other open cells in block 4. Because 3, 7, and 9 go into these 3 cells. So 7 is eliminated from this cell, which makes this cell an 8 for the column. Which means that this cell is 3, and this cell is an 8. This 3 comes back up, making this cell a 3, which makes this 7 and this a 9. 1, 4, and 5 are the missing digits of block 4. Alright, this 6, 7 pair makes the other 3 open cells in block 6 a 1, 3, 5 triple. The digit 3 is forced into this cell, making these 2 cells a 1, 5 pair. So this 1, 5 pair eliminates 1 and 5 from this cell. So it makes this a 4, this a 7, 4, 7, 4, 1, 5, 4, 9, 1. This cell's a 4 to complete the row, which makes this 7, 4, 7, 6, 6, 1, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, I finished today's New York Times Hard Sudoku in 16.5 minutes. For my runny nose, I'm sorry. Um, okay. Alright, so, yeah, I don't think this Sudoku puzzle was extremely tricky. I feel like it's mostly straightforward. In my approach, um, yeah, that's what I thought. I'll go over the key spots as a quick summary. So towards the beginning, definitely getting the 5 and 7 placed in block 2 um, helped a lot in getting most of the digits or information up here. So the 2, 7, and 8 or whatever got placed. Um, Later on, completing most of column 8 was, quite quite useful. And yeah, I feel like the 3/8 pair in block 7 was quite significant. The 3/8 pair in block 7 helped place the 6 as well as the 4/5/9 triple. And okay, after getting the 4/7 pair here, this cell was a naked single 6, so it was also quite significant. Um, so yeah, the 6, and then soon after that, like most of the bottom 3 rows were complete, so that's nice. And the very key spot towards the end, to me, was the 3/7/9 triple in block 4. So this 3/7/9 triple, I'm not sure if there's an alternative method to spotting this. Like, you could have spotted something else that also works, but I'm not sure. But anyway, this 3/7/9 triple definitely helped me a lot because it placed the 8, 3, 8, and all digits, which are required to end up the Sudoku puzzle. So yeah, once again, the key spots include the 3/8 pair in block 7, and then with the 4/7 pair, it made the cell a naked single 6, and at the end, the 3/7/9 triple in block 4. So yeah, to me, those were the key spots for this Sudoku puzzle. So if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you, and hopefully this video helped. For March 24th, 2025, so let's get this video started with Wordle number 1374. I'm gonna start with the word assets. Alright, got the A green, so I know that A goes first, and the other letters are not part of the word. Interesting. It starts with A. It could be alter. It could be after. Um, it could also be something absurd, like aorta. Like, there are many possibilities. Alert, even. So, I might just try to guess a word which ignores the A clue. Since I've still got so many possibilities left, I wanna eliminate as many as I can, and perhaps get another letter which is part of the word. So, I want to use the R and T definitely, as well as the E. I can use the O. Hmm. Um. Toner. Okay, got the N and E yellow. So they go somewhere else in this word. E can go here. Oh, it could be angle or angel. No, can't be angel because E can't go forth. It might just be angle. Let's try it. And angle is today's Wordle answer. Alright, I got very lucky there. I'm so glad that I used the elimination strategy on my second try, because that gave me N and E. And I placed it somewhere else, immediately saw the word angle, which is today's Wordle answer. So I can see it being a bit tricky since the only vowels are at the very start and the very end of the word, and all 3 middle letters are consonants. So pattern-wise, could be a bit tricky, but luckily, by the use of elimination strategy, I was able to place the letters correctly, quite quickly. So that's how I got today's Wordle answer, angle, in 3 tries. This is Wordle number 1374. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today's March 24th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. I see that these ones point up. To force the digit 1 into this cell in block 3, this one points left and this one points down. So in block 4, the digit 1 is forced into row 6. Okay, the missing digits of block 3 are 3, 8, and 9, which are placed like this. Okay, so we know that the digit 8 in block 3 is forced into row 1. So 8's being here, and this 8 points left. We also have the digit 8 in block 5 being in one of these two cells. Okay, these 6's forced the digit 6 into this cell in block 6. All of these 6's force the digit 6 into this cell in block 2. We have these 6's pointing left, and this cell sees another 6. Oh, but in block 7, the digit 6 is forced into this cell, which eliminates 6 from this cell, and gets the last 6 in this Sudoku puzzle in this cell in block 4. So all 6's are placed. That's very nice. I can move on to another digit. Okay, after I place this 6, the digit 5 in block 6 is forced into this cell. These 5's point down. Okay, these 4's force the digit 4 into this cell in block 6. These 4's point down, and this cell sees another 4. So in block 7, the digit 4 is forced into this cell. 4 goes into one of these two cells in block 2, and into one of these two cells in block 8. The missing digits of block 6 are 2, 3, and 9. So this cell sees a 9. 3, 8, and 9 are the missing digits of column 8, but this cell sees a 9. And actually, the digit 9 in block 9 goes into one of these two cells. Okay, and because in column 8, 9 is guaranteed into one of these two cells, so no matter which cell 9 ends up in, this cell cannot contain a 9. It sees both of them. Another way to think about it is that whatever digit that goes into this cell cannot repeat in the same column, but still has to go somewhere in block 3. So it has to go into this cell. So these two cells contain the same digits. These 9's point up to force the digit 9 into this cell in block 1, which makes this cell an 8. Because after 9 occupied this cell, this is the only cell available for 8 in block 1. Or in row 3, because 8 is still missing from row 3, but cannot go into these 3 cells because they see 8. So this is the only cell available for 8 in this row. So it makes the other 3 open cells in row 3 a 3, 5, 7 triple. This cell sees 3, so it's 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7. And in block 1, the missing digits are 2, 3, and 7. This cell sees a 7, so it's only 2 or 3. Okay, well, I do see something in column 5, which is the placement of 1. But, I can first mark down... Oh, wait, I guess I don't need to. Alright, in column 5, 1 is a missing digit, so I have to put it somewhere. But this cell sees 1, this cell sees 1, this cell sees 1, this cell sees 1 from block 4, and this cell also sees 1. So all of these open cells in this column see another 1, but 1 still has to go somewhere in this column because it's missing. So in column 5, the digit 1 is forced into this cell because this is the only cell available for 1 in this column, right? All other open cells in this column cannot contain 1. So the only place for 1 to go in the column is this cell. So I must make this a 1 because it can't go anywhere else in the column. Alright, after placing this one, the digit 8 in block 5 becomes forced into this cell, and these 8s point down, forcing the digit 8 into this cell in block 8. Okay, this 8 points down and this 8 points right. So in block 9, the digit 8 is forced into row 9. So 8's here and this 8, with all these 8s, force the digit 8 into this cell in block 7. Okay, in row 4, 2, 3, and 7 are the missing digits. This cell sees 3, so it's only 2 or 7. Okay, these ones force the digit 1 into one of these two cells in block 2. Oh, okay, so this 357 triple means that the other 4 open cells in block 2 contain 1, 2, 4, and 9, because they are the other missing digits of block 2. But this cell sees 1, 2, and 9. So this cell can only be a 4, because it can't contain any other digits, right? You can double check. So this cell does not contain, or it sees 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the only digit which can go into this cell is 4. And keep in mind that in Sudoku, we cannot leave cells to be empty, because empty cells would break the Sudoku puzzle. So in order to avoid empty cells, I must fit one digit into every single cell. And if this cell cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, then it must contain a 4, because 4 is the only possible digit which can go into this cell. So I have to put a 4 into this cell, because it can't be anything else. It can only be a 4. So I must put 4 into this cell to avoid empty cells. Okay, now these 3 cells are down to 1, 2, and 9. Okay, another way you could have placed this 4 is just by looking at column 5. In column 5, 3, 4, 5, and 7 are the missing digits, but this cell sees 3, 5, and 7 from this triple. So 3, 5, and 7 are eliminated from this cell, making this cell a 4 for the column. While I'm here, might as well just mark down 3, 5, and 7 in column 5, but this cell sees 5 and this cell sees 7. So the digit 4 in block 5 is forced into one of these two cells. These 7s point down. Hmm. Alright, I might have to keep filling in some rows or columns. Um, okay, let's just fill out 1, 2, 3, and 7 for block 4. So these two cells see 7, and this cell sees 1. So these two cells are 1, 2, and 3, and this cell is 2, 3, or 7. And in column 3, 1, 2, 3, and 7 are the missing digits. This cell sees a 3. Alright, in column 7, the missing digits are 2, 3, 5, and 9. This cell sees 3 and 9, so it can only contain 2 or 5. This cell sees 2 and 9, so it's only 3 or 5. Oh, okay, I do see it. Um, okay. So this cell sees 1. So 1 can only go into one of these 3 cells. And I've marked down 2 of the missing digits of block 8. Meaning that I still haven't marked down 5 and 7, which are the remaining 2 missing digits. So let's mark those down. Alright, now, in column 4, there is a 5-7 pair. As you can see in column 4, there are exactly 2 open cells which only contain 2 certain digits. In this case, these 2 open cells only contain 5 or 7. So again, in order to avoid empty cells, I must keep both 5 and 7 in these 2 cells. The only combinations that prevent empty cells are 5, 7 like this, or 7, 5. So to avoid empty cells, I must keep both 5 and 7 in these 2 cells. So these 2 cells form a 5-7 pair, and this 5-7 pair eliminates 5s and 7s from all other open cells in this column, because the other open cells in this column see the whole 5-7 pair. So they cannot contain 5 or 7. Meaning that I can eliminate 7 from this cell and eliminate 5 and 7 from this cell. So now for row 4, um, 2, 3, and 7 are the missing digits, right? It now sees 7 from the 5-7 pair and 3, so it can only be a 2. Which makes this cell and 3 and this cell a 7. The digit 7 in block 1 is forced into this cell. Okay, this cell now sees a 2. Um, okay, so this cell now sees a 3. So after eliminating 3 and 9 from this cell, it can only be an 8, making this cell an 8 for the column. Okay, 2, 7, and 9 are the missing digits of column 9, but this cell sees 2 and 9. So this cell is forced to be a 7, leaving behind a 2-9 pair. Okay, the digit 7 in block 7 is forced into this cell, which makes this cell a 5 and this a 7 to resolve the pair, leaving a 3-5 pair in row 3. Yeah, row 3. And now in column 5, 7 is a missing digit, but these two open cells see another 7. So the digit 7 in 7 in column 5 is forced into this cell, making this cell 2, 3, or 9 for this row, but C's 2, so it's actually only 3 or 9. Okay, the digit 7 in block 8 is forced into this cell. The 1-4 pair in these two cells makes the other two open cells in row 9 a 3-5 pair, but this cell sees a 5. So 3 and 5 are placed this way, which makes this cell a 2, leaving a 3-9 pair in block 9, but actually this cell sees a 3. So I can place 9, 3, 2, 9. This is a 2 to complete the row, which makes this 5, 1. Up here, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 5, 5 to complete the column. These two cells are down to 4 and 9. Okay, so what finishes up? This cell sees 2. So 9, 1, 4, 1, 9, 4, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, I finished today's New York Times Hard Sudoku in a bit under 17 minutes. So I would say the Sudoku puzzle is mostly straightforward. Um, there are something that is quite key, important to spot, but I think overall it's quite approachable. Well, in my perspective. Yeah, I don't think it was extremely tricky at all, so yeah. I'll go over the key spots as a quick summary. So, um, yeah, I don't really recall it many tricky spots. I feel like getting some of the information up here, like the 357 triple here, was not that difficult to find. Um, as well as placing some digits in block 6 and affected down here. Um, so I think the naked single 4 in block 2 at some point was quite important to spot. So this cell saw every other digit. So it could only contain a 4, so I must put a 4 into this cell, because it can't be anything else. So this is a naked single 4 in block 2, at the intersection of row 2 and column 5. And I think towards the end of this Sudoku puzzle, the 5-7 pair in column 4 definitely helped. Because this 5-7 pair helped place the 2, complete row 4, and right-hand side, and circled towards the end. So I feel like these were the key spots. Yeah, I don't really recall any tricky spots, so if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you. Hopefully this video helped. So yeah, to me, well, in my approach, I feel like this Sudoku puzzle is mostly straightforward. For March 25th, 2025, so let's get this video started with Wordle number 1375. I'm gonna start with the word doubt. Okay, all 5 letters are grey, so let's guess a completely different word with 5 new letters. For example, laser. Let's try that. Okay, got the L, S, and E yellow, so these 3 letters go somewhere else in this word. A common pattern is to end with an E, and since L is in this word, it might very likely be a double consonant. It could be something like, it doesn't have to end in E, it could be something like spell, or swell, Or it could be slime. It could be smile. It could also be never mind. Um it could also be slice. So there are tons of options. I wanna check if L goes here and for the E, I don't know. So what did I think of? I thought of slime and smile, thought of slice, um spell, swell, smell, shell. Damn, there are really a lot of possibilities. Okay, so let's just try to use the elimination strategy is what I call. Um Basically just ignore the previous clues and guess a totally different word. Um which the goal is to eliminate as many wrong possibilities as possible and try to get some more information. So definitely wanna use the M and P. Hmm. Is this a word? No. Chimp? Oh, okay, interesting. So I think it's gonna be SH, and then it it makes me think that it's shell. And let's try that, because I don't see any other options. Oh, okay, then it's shelf. Okay, just, um, yes, so close, but yet so far. Um, I really thought I had it, but shelf is the Wordle answer instead. Alright, so this elimination strategy definitely helped, because it eliminated a lot of wrong options, but also helped me place most of the letters correct immediately afterwards. So yeah, it did work, but unfortunately was not too lucky, but I'll take it anyway. It's not too bad. Got today's Wordle answer shelf in 5 tries. This is Wordle number 1375. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is March 25th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. Okay, these ones, force the digit 1 into this cell in block 2. This one points down and this one points right. So in block 6, the digit 1 is forced into row 4. So one's here and this one points left. And this cell sees another 1. So in block 4, the digit 1 is forced into this cell. And then these ones point down, this cell sees another 1. This 2 points left, and this 2 points down. So in block 5, the digit 2 is forced into row 4. So these 2's points left, and this cell sees another 2. Oh, in block 5, 4 can only go into one of these 2 cells as well. So these 2 cells form a 2-4 pair. As you can see, in block 5, the digits 2 and 4 are missing. These 2's and 4's force both 2 and 4 into one of these 2 cells only. Well, I should say that both 2 and 4 in block 5 can only go into these 2 cells. So in order to fit both 2 and 4 into block 5, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 2 and 4. So these 2 cells form a 2-4 pair, and this 2-4 pair eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells. Now 3 cannot go into this cell, because 3 is certainly not 2 or 4. So after eliminating 3 from these 2 cells, with this 3 pointing left, the digit 3 in block 5 is forced into this cell, leaving a 5, 7, 9 triple in these 3 cells. This cell needs a 5. Okay, and this 5, 7, 9 triple makes these 2 cells a 6, 8 pair for row 6. Okay, these 3s point down. These 5s point right, and this cell sees another 5. So in block 9, the digit 5 is forced into this cell. These 5s point up. We also have the digit 5 into one of these 2 cells in block 4, because this cell sees a 5. These 6s point up. Alright, these 8s point up, and this cell sees another 8. So in block 2, the digit 8 is forced into this cell. These 8s point left, and this cell sees another 8. These 8s point right, and this cell sees another 8. Okay, after I place this 8 into this cell, the digit 6 in block 2 can now only go into this cell. So it is forced. It makes these 4 cells contain 4, 5, 7, and 9, because they are the remaining missing digits of block 2. I think for now, I only know that 9 goes into one of these 2 cells. Um, hmm. Okay, this 4 points left, and this 4 points down. So in block 7, the digit 4 is forced into row 9. So the digit 4 in block 8 is forced into one of these 2 cells. And in column 6, 4 is a missing digit, so I have to put it somewhere, but these 2 open cells see another 4, right? Because this cell down here sees 4 from block 7. The digit 4 in block 7 is guaranteed into one of these 2 cells, which both lie in row 9. So I can't have another open cell in the same row containing a 4. So this cell cannot be a 4, this cell also cannot contain 4. So in column 6, the digit 4 is forced into one of these 2 cells. And because 4 is guaranteed into one of these 2 cells, even for column 6, these 2 cells cannot contain a 4. Because it is forced for 4 to be in one of these 2 cells. No matter which cell 4 ends up in, the cell sees both of them. So these 2 cells cannot contain 4. Might as well also mark the 9s as well. And also the 5 and 7s. Alright, you might have noticed the 4-8 pair in block 7. As you can see in block 7, the digits 4 and 8 are missing. These 4s and 8s force both 4 and 8 into these 2 cells only. So in order to fit both 4 and 8 into block 7, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 4 and 8. So these 2 cells form the 4-8 pair, and this pair eliminates all other digits from these two cells. Now 9 cannot go into these two cells, because 9 is certainly not 4 or 8. So after eliminating 9 from this pair, with this 9 pointing down, the digit 9 in block 7 is forced into row 7. Okay, so this 4-8 pair means that the other 4 open cells in row 9 contain 1, 2, 3, and 9, because they are the other missing digits of row 9. But this cell sees 1, 2, and 3. So indeed, it actually must be a 9. Well, this cell... Okay, let's double check. I usually like to use this method for explaining in detail. So this cell sees or cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 4, because it sees 4 from this pair, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the only possible digit which can go into this cell is 9. So I must make this cell a 9. Keep in mind that in Sudoku we cannot leave cells to be empty, because empty cells would break the Sudoku puzzle. So in order to avoid empty cells, I have to put one digit into every single cell, and if this cell cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, then 9 is the only possible digit which can go into this cell, so I must make this cell a 9. Because it can't be anything else. It can only be a 9. So to avoid empty cells, this cell must better be a 9. Okay. Leaving these 4 cells to be 2, 3, 4, and 7, but again, this cell sees 3, 4, and 7. So 3, 4, and 7 go into these 3 cells in block 8, making this cell a 2. Or you could have just looked at it for row 9. These 3 cells are down to 1, 2, and 3. This cell indeed sees 1 and 3. So this cell can only be a 2, and then this cell sees 3. So 3 and 1 this way, which makes 1 go in this cell in block 7. This cell now sees 2, so 4 and 2 like this. This 4-8 pair means that these 3 open cells contain 6, 7, and 9. Okay, the digit 2 in block 9 is forced into this cell. These 2's point up, and this cell sees another 2. Alright, in block 9, 3, 6, and 9 are the missing digits. This cell sees a 3, so it's 6 and 9. Okay, the digit 1 in block 6 is forced into this cell. Okay, all ones are placed. That's nice. We have 6, 7, 8, and 9 being the missing digits of block 6. 6 is forced into one of these two cells. 7 can only go into one of these two cells. We have 8, which is possible to be in one of these 3 cells. And 9 can go into one of these 3 cells. It's just that this cell cannot be a 9. Hmm. Okay, these 3's points left, and this cell sees another 3. Hmm. Okay, there is a 579 triple in um column 5. Oh, but actually I missed this, which is in column 4. I could have just resolved column 4 for a very long time. Okay, so the digit 4 in block 8 is forced into this cell, but also in column 4, 7 and 9 are the missing digits now, but this cell sees 9. So 7 and 9 this way, which makes this cell a 3. Now these two cells cannot be a 9. So the digit 9 in block 2 is forced into this cell. Okay, this cell now sees a 7 and 9. So among these three cells, this cell can only be a 6, leaving behind a 7-9 pair. 6 is forced into this cell in block 9, which makes this cell 3 and this a 9 because of this 3. 6 is eliminated from this cell, so after doing that, the digit 6 in block 6 is then forced into this cell, which makes this cell an 8. Um, the cell now sees 9. In column 2, 2, 5, and 7 are the missing digits. This cell sees 2, so it's 5 or 7. This cell sees 5, so it's 2 or 7. Okay, in column 9, the missing digits are 5, 8, and 9. This cell sees 8 and 9. So 8 and 9 can only go into the other two open cells, making this cell a 5. So this 5 eliminates 5 from these two cells, getting the 5 placed in this cell in block 2, which makes this cell a 5, 7, 7, 4. These 5s points left, and this cell sees another 5. So in block 1, the digit 5 is forced into this cell, which places a 5 in this cell in block 4. Um, in row 2, the missing digits are 3, 4, and 7. This cell sees 3 and 4, so this cell can only be a 7, leaving behind a 3, 4 pair in the row. And in row 3, 2, 3, and 6 are the missing digits. This cell sees 2 and 6, so this cell is forced to be a 3, leaving a 2, 6 pair in the other two cells. This cell now sees 7 as well as 9, so for block 6, this cell can only be an 8, which makes this cell 9 and this an 8, which makes this 7. Pointing left, making this cell a 2 and this a 7 to complete column 2. Um, in column 7, 2 and 6 are the missing digits, which makes these two cells, oh, but this cell sees 3. So 4 and 3 this way to complete the row 2, which makes this a 9. Up here, 2, 4, and 6, this cell sees 2, so 2, 4, 6. In row 4, 3 and 7 are the missing digits, and in row 5, 6 and 9 are the missing digits. So what is missing? This cell sees 8. So 4, 8, the digit 4 in block 1 is forced into this cell, which makes this cell a 6. 2, 6, 2, 6, 9, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, I finished today's New York Times Hard Sudoku in just under 17 minutes, so I would say this Sudoku puzzle is mostly straightforward. I'll go over the key spots as a quick summary. Towards the beginning, I felt like the 2-4 pair in block 5 was quite essential. So yeah, this 2-4 pair right here helped place the 3, as well as finding the 5-7-9 triple in block 5, which also applied to row 6. which make these two cells a 6-8 pair. And of course, you could have got this one placed early on, but yeah, one of the key spots was the 2-4 pair in block 5, which placed the 3 here, 5-7-9 triple, as well as the 6-8 pair in row 6. So this was the whole chain. And then another key spot is the 4-8 pair in block 7. Now this one I feel is quite significant, because this 4-8 pair down here forced this cell to be a naked single 9. Right, because this cell saw 1, 2, 3, 4 only after I found this 4-8 pair, as well as 5, 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, this naked single 9 was found after finding the 4-8 pair in block 7. So this 4-8 pair was quite significant, and yeah, of course it also applied to row 9 because these two cells lie in the same row. So yeah. Then a lot of things just collapsed down here, all along maybe some middle columns or whatever. So I feel like these were the key spots. So if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you. Hopefully this video helped. And in my approach, I don't think it is too tricky. To me, it's mostly straightforward. Hopefully you feel the same way after hearing all of my detailed explanations. So yeah, hopefully this video helped. For March 26th, 2025, so let's get this video started with Wordle number 1376. I'm gonna start with the word fluid. Alright, got the L green, so I've placed L as the second letter, and the other letters are unknown. So for double consonants at the beginning, we may have SL, PL, CL, BL, and GL. If it's not a double consonant, then it's most likely AL. So these are some options to consider. But since I think there are gonna be so many possible options to go with, I'm gonna use the elimination strategy, which is just use 5 new letters to make up a totally different word, ignoring the previous clues. So I can try something like coast. Um, let's see, we've got PLCL, SL, BLGL. So coast uses 2 of them. T might go last, because you can have NT and RT ending. So I think coast is not a bad option. Let's go with that. Alright, got the O yellow only. So it's something LO, most probably. Um, it could be blown. Let's try that. Okay, it's not blown, but B and W are yellow. So we know that these 2 letters go in this word, and that is amazing news. Because now I know it's elbow, right? Because of course WL, that's not gonna be it. And if it also can't be BL, then it has to be OL, GL, PL, or another vowel, which I thought of in my mind, and the word elbow immediately came to my mind. So yeah, that fits both the B and W in the word. And that is today's Wordle answer. Alright. So that's very nice. Quite decent. I got it in 4 tries. Yeah, the elimination strategy on the second try, and the guess immediate after that helped me a lot to guess today's Wordle answer. So yeah, eliminated a lot of wrong options, but also helped me get some um not so commonly used consonants on the next guess. So yeah, that's how I got today's Wordle answer elbow in 4 tries. Quite a decent performance, I'll take it. So yeah, this is Wordle number 1376. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is March 26th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. These sevens point left and this cell sees another 7. So in block 7, the digit 7 is forced into this cell. These sevens point up. And we have the digit 7 in one of these two cells in block 5. This 7 points right, and this 7 points up. So in block 3, the digit 7 is forced into column 8. So 7 in block 6 goes into one of these two cells. These 6s point down, and these 6s point left. Oh, and the 6 points up and the 6 points right, so it joins up with the 7 to be forced into column 8 in block 3. And these two cells do form a 6-7 pair. As you can see in block 3, the digits 6 and 7 are missing. These 6 and 7s force both 6 and 7 into these two cells only. So in order to fit both 6 and 7 into block 3, I have to make these two cells reserved for 6 and 7. So these two cells form the 6-7 pair, and this pair eliminates all other digits from these two cells. Because I have to make them contain 6 and 7. Alright, now 9 is certainly not 6 or 7, so I can eliminate 9 from these two cells, from the 6-7 pair. With this 9 pointing right, the digit 9 in block 3 is forced into this cell. Which means that these three cells form a 1-3-8 triple, because they are the other missing digits of block 3. But this cell sees 1 and 3. So 1 and 3 go into these two open cells, making this cell an 8. So this 1-3 pair means that these two cells form a 4-5 pair, because they are the other missing digits of row 3, but this cell sees a 5. So, 4 and 5 this way. Sorry, my mouse just, the batteries is kind of dead, so let me try to change. Sorry. Um, yeah, I certainly did not expect my batteries to die at this moment. But yeah, I'll just see. Okay, changed. Alright, so hopefully this new one won't die. Okay, now this 5 points left and this 5 points up to force the digit 5 into row 1 in block 1. This 4 points down and this 4 points left. So the digit 4 in block 7 is forced into this cell, only after I place this 4. So these 4s point right, and this cell sees another 4. So in block 9, the digit 4 is forced into this cell. 4 in block 6 goes into one of these two cells. In column 9, 1, 2, and 3 are the missing digits. But these two open cells see another 1. So in column 9, the digit 1 is forced into this cell. And this cell sees a 3. So 3 goes into this cell for the column and makes this cell a 2. This cell is a 3 to complete the row. Alright, down here, the digit 1 in block 9 is forced into one of these two cells. Okay, this 2 points down to force the digit 2 into one of these two cells in block 8. And these two cells form a 2-4 pair. As you can see in block 6, the digits 2 and 4 are missing. This 2 and this 4 force both 2 and 4 into these two cells only. So in order to fit both 2 and 4 into block 8, I have to make these two cells reserved for 2 and 4. So these two cells form the 2-4 pair, and this pair eliminates all other digits from these two cells. So this means that the other three open cells in block 6 form a 5, 7, 9 triple, which go like this, and it also works for column 8. So we've got 6, 7 pair and a 2-4 pair in column 8, which means that these two cells down here contain the remaining missing digits of column 8, which are 5 and 9. But this cell sees a 5. So 5 and 9 this way, which means that these three cells form a 168 triple. The digit 5 in block 8 is forced into one of these two cells, and 9 in block 8 goes into one of these two cells only. The digit 9 in block 4 is forced into one of these two cells. Alright, these twos point left, and this cell sees another 2. So in block 7, the digit 2 is forced into this cell, leaving behind a 368 triple in block 7. This cell sees a 3. Okay, in block 2, the digit 9 is forced into one of these two cells. So is the 4. Alright, so actually these two cells form a 4-9 pair. As you can see in block 2, the digits 4 and 9 are missing. This 4 and this 9 force both 4 and 9 into these two cells only. So in order to fit both 4 and 9 into block 2, I have to make these two cells reserved for 4 and 9. So these two cells form the 4-9 pair, and this 4-9 pair eliminates all other digits from these two cells. So this means that the other three open cells in block 2 form a 1, 2, 3 triple because they are the other missing digits of block 2. But, oh my goodness, is my mouse dying again? Oh, damn. Alright. So, sorry. This cell sees 1 and 2. So this cell is supposed to be a 3, leaving the other two open cells to contain 1 and 2. Hold on, let me find an actual battery which it's not gonna die soon. Um, I'm gonna look at the Sudoku board at the same time and see what to progress next. Alright, see how long this can last for. It doesn't even work. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Alright, let's look at column 4. In column 4, the missing digits are 4, 8, and 9. Are all the batteries dead? Oh. Um, okay, anyway, I'll use the mouse pad. Okay, in column 4, 4, 8, and 9 are the missing digits, but this cell sees 4 and 9. So 4 and 9 go into the other two open cells in this column, making this cell an 8, which leaves a 1, 3, 6 triple in row 9. This cell sees a 6. Okay, so in block 8, I've marked down the 5s, 6, and 9s. So I've still got the 1s and 3s not yet marked, so I can do that right now. 3 go here, and 1 goes... I mean, it is possible to go here. Okay. These 8s force the digit 8 into one of these two cells in block 5. Um, okay, all the batteries are really dead. Okay, I'm sorry. Um, oh, okay, I see something in row 1. I'll just talk about it right now. So in row 1, the missing digits apart from 1 and 2 are 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, oh gosh. Alright, so this 1, 2 pair means that the other 4 open cells in this row contain 5, 6, 7, and 8, but this cell sees 5 and 7. So it can only contain either 6 or 8. You can double check. It sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. So this cell can only contain either 6 or 8. And now look at column 3. In column 3, there are 2 open cells which only contain 2 certain digits. In this case, these 2 cells only contain 6 or 8. 6 and 8. So, these 2 cells form a 6-8 pair. Keep it in mind that in Sudoku we cannot leave cells to be empty, because empty cells would break the Sudoku puzzle. So to avoid empty cells, I must keep both 6 and 8 in these 2 cells. So this 6-8 pair eliminates 6 and 8 from all other open cells in this column. So now, this cell cannot contain 6 nor 8, because it sees both of the cells involved in the 6-8 pair. It's either 6, 8 like this, or 8, 6. And no matter what, this cell sees both of the cells involved in the pair. So the 6-8 pair eliminates those 2 digits from these 2 cells, making the cell a 3. Alright then, the digit 3 in block 8 is forced into this cell, which makes this cell a 6, and this cell a 1 to complete row 9. This cell is an 8 to complete block 7. Okay, 3 cannot go into these 2 cells anymore. So for, okay, this cell now sees 8. So 6 and 8 like this, which makes this 6 and this a 9 for row 8, leaving a 1-5 pair in row 7. Okay. Okay, this cell now, yeah, this 6-8 pair is resolved after I place the 8 down there. So 6 in this cell, which makes this cell 7 and this a 6. Over here, 7 is eliminated from this cell. So the digit 7 in block 1 is forced into this cell. 1-2 pair in row 1 means that the other 2 open cells in the same row form a 5-8 pair, which means that these 2 cells form a 1-3 pair because they are the other missing digits of, you can say either block 1 or row 2. But this cell sees a 3. So I can place 1 and 3 this way, which means that these 2 cells for column 4 form a 2-9 pair. Okay, this cell now sees a 6. So the digit 6 in block 4 is forced into this cell, leaving a 1-5-8 triple in column 2. But these 2 open cells see another 1. So in column 2, the digit 1 is forced into this cell, but this cell also sees 8. So the digit 8 in column 2 is forced into this cell, making this cell a 5. So is this cell. Alright then, these 3 cells for column 1 form a 3, 4, 8 triple. Because 3, 4, and 8 are the missing digits of column 1. But because of the 3 and 8 over here, I can make some deductions, like so. Okay, this cell now sees a 5. Okay, the digit 3 in block 5 is forced into one of these 2 cells. Now, I have to take it slow because it's not that convenient to use the mouse pad on the like embedded in the laptop. So Yeah, I'll make sure to have a working battery for tomorrow. Um, oh, sorry, I missed this for a long time. This cell now sees a 9. So I can complete row 2 by placing 4 and 9 this way, which makes this cell a 4, making this cell a 2 and this a 4 to complete column 8. Over here, it makes this cell an 8, leaving behind a 3-4 pair in column 1. This cell now sees an 8. So, yeah, the digit 8 in block 5 is forced into this cell, which forces 7 into this cell in block 5, which makes this cell a 9, this a 5, and this a 7. For row 5, 2 and 9 are the missing digits, but this 9 forces 9 to be in this cell, which makes this cell a 2. Up here, 1 and 2, which makes this cell 5, and this a 1. 3, 5 pair in column 6, but this cell sees a 5. So 3, 5, 3, 4, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. I finished today's New York Times Hot Sudoku in around 16 minutes. So I would say this Sudoku puzzle is mostly straightforward. I'll go over the key spots as a quick summary. So towards the big 6-7 pair up here in block 3, which I think was quite significant for early progress. So yeah, in block 3, there was the 6-7 pair, which placed the 9 immediately after that. So yeah, 6-7 pair, and then the 9, and then these 3 cells were down to 1, 3, and 8, but I could place the 8 because it sees 1 and 3. So this 1-3 pair also gave me the 4 and 5 in row 3. So this 6-7 pair helped a lot. Even down here, this 2-4 pair in block 6, and as well as placing the 5 and 9 in column 8. So that was quite useful. And later on, the 4-9 pair in block 2 helps place this 3 as well as the 1-2 pair up here. So this helped me find the 6-8 pair in column 3. There was the 6-8 pair in column 3, which eliminated 6 and 8 from this cell and made this cell a 3 after I placed the other digits in block 7. So a 6-8 pair in column 3 was quite important, I would say, because it allowed me to place a 3, and it actually helped finish up the Sudoku puzzle. It was quite significant for the ending of this puzzle. So yeah. Um yeah, so in my approach, in my way of solving it, I feel like it wasn't too tricky. It was definitely approachable, and even with explaining in detail, it could be mostly straightforward. So yeah, if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you. Hopefully this video helped. Even when my all the batteries of my mouse have died. Whatever. Um yeah, I'll fix it right away. For March 27th, 2025, so let's get this video started with Wordle number 1377. I'm gonna start with the word under. Alright, got the E green. So I've placed E as the 4th letter, and the other letters are not part of the word. So let's try to get something else. I might want to use an elimination strategy, which I do usually use if I encounter situations like this. So I'm guessing a totally different word, ignoring the first clue, to eliminate more wrong possibilities, and also to get some more clues. So let's try moist and see what happens. Okay, I've placed T as the last letter, and I also know that L goes somewhere else in this word. So S could go first. It could be sheet. It could be sweet. It could be sleet. Um, it could be asset. It could be I don't know. Like there are a lot of options here. So, hmm. I'm gonna try sweet and see what happens. Okay, I should have trusted my guts if it is really sheet, because I thought of sheet first. Damn, that is today's Wordle answer. I always second guess myself. Why do I need to doubt myself? I could have got it in 3 tries. Well, you know, sometimes you really can't predict the 50-50, and yeah, it's just luck based sometimes. So yeah, got it in 4 tries. It's still an alright performance, so I'll take it. I used the elimination strategy on my second try, which actually helped me place the S and T apart from the E. So from then, I just need to find out the other 2 letters, which there's a repeated E. So yeah, overall, I'm quite satisfied with this. So yeah, got today's Wordle answer sheet in 4 tries. This is Wordle number 1377. Let's now move on to New York Times Sudoku. Again, today is March 27th, 2025. Let's start the hard difficulty Sudoku for today. What is this? Oh, new setting. Okay, so, yo, this is very nice. Okay, so, wow. I don't need to do that many highlights as before. So you can see the digit 9 in block 2 is forced into one of these 2 cells. We have these 9s pointing down. Yo, this is sick. Alright. New York Times has done a major upgrade, which I would say is definitely an improvement. So you can say that the digit 6 in block 1 is forced into this cell. These 6s point right, and these 6s point right, and down here, the digit 6 goes into one of these 2 cells in block 9. Oh, and now in column 8, 6 is a missing digit, but all of these open cells see another 6. So in column 8, the digit 6 is forced into this cell because all other open cells in this column see another 6. So 6 can only go here in column 8, so it is forced. Okay. Now these 3s point down. Alright, this 2 points up, and this 2 points right. So in block 2, the digit 2 is forced into column 2. So these 2s point down, and this cell sees another 2. This 2 points down, and this 2 points left. So in block 4, the digit 2 is forced into row 6. So these 2s point right, and this cell sees another 2. Okay, this 3 points left. To force the digit 3 into row 3 in block 1, so these 3s point right. And we have a 3-6 pair in block 3, or row 1. As you can see in row 1, 3 and 6 are 2 of the missing digits, but cannot go into these 3 cells because they see 3 and 6. So in order to fit both 3 and 6 into row 1, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 3 and 6. So these 2 cells form the 3-6 pair, and this 3-6 pair eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells, which means that the other 3 open cells in row 1 contain the other missing digits of row 1, which are 4, 7, and 8. This cell sees an 8. Okay, and the digit 1 in block 2 is forced into column 2. And these ones point down, this cell sees another 1. So we actually have a 1-2 pair here. As you can see in block 2, the digits 1 and 2 are missing. These 1s and 2s force both 1 and 2 into these 2 cells only. So in order to fit both 1 and 2 into block 2, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 1 and 2. So these 2 cells form the 1-2 pair, and this pair eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells. Now 9 is certainly not 1 or 2, so I can eliminate 9 from this cell. The digit 9 in block 2 is then forced into this cell. 4, 7, 8 triple and 1, 2 pair makes this cell a 5, because this is the only other missing digits apart from the digits involved in the triple or the pair. It can only be the 5. So this 5 points left, forcing the digit 5 into one of these two cells in block 1. So these two cells form a 3-5 pair because of this 3 and 5. So 3 and 5 go down here, which makes these two cells a 7-8 pair, but this cell sees a 7. So I can place 7 and 8 this way. These 8s points left, and this cell sees this 8. Alright, in row 2, 1, 2, and 4 are the missing digits, but this cell sees 1 and 2. So this cell can only be a 4, leaving 1 and 2 in the other two open cells in the row. In column 8, 3, 7, and 8 are the missing digits. This cell sees 3 from this pair, so it's only 7 or 8. This cell sees 7, so it's 3 or 8. This cell sees 8, so it's 3 or 7. The digit 5 in block 5 is forced into this cell. These 5s point down. This 7 points right. To force the digit 7 into row 6 in block 5, and these 7s point right. Okay, the digit 1 in block 4 is forced into column 1, so these ones point down, and this cell sees another 1. Oh, okay, so in row 4, the missing digits are 1, 4, 7, and 8, but this cell sees 1, 7, and 8, so it can only be a 4. We can double check. This cell, this cell sees 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the only possible digits which can go into this cell is 4, so I have to put a 4 into this cell. Because it we know that it cannot contain 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if 4 is the only possible digits which can go into this cell, I have to make this a 4. Because if I exclude 4 in this cell, then this will end up being empty, and that'll break the Sudoku puzzle. So the only way to avoid empty cells for this cell is by putting a 4. It's the only way. So yeah, 4 in this cell. Um okay. The missing digits of row 4 are 1, 7, and 8. This cell sees 7, so it's 1 or 8. This cell sees 8, so it's 1 or 7. 1, 7, 8. Okay, in column 4, the missing digits are 3, 4, 7, and 8. This cell sees 3 and 7, so it can only contain 4 or 8. Down here, these two cells see 8, so therefore 3, 4, or 7. Oh, I think it's this cell. So let's think about what are the possible digits which can go into this cell. So it's this cell sees. Okay, I'm gonna do this first. This cell sees 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So the only possible digits which can go into this cell are 3, 4, or 7. Because, like, again, this cell sees 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So only 3, 4, or 7 can go into this cell. And now look at row 7. There are 3 open cells which only contain 3 certain digits. In this case, these 3 cells only contain 3, 4, and 7. So again, in order to avoid empty cells, I must keep 3, 4, and 7 in these 3 cells. Otherwise, if I exclude even one of them from these cells, then at least one of the cells would end up being empty. And that'll break the Sudoku puzzle. So to avoid empty cells, I must keep these 3 digits in these 3 cells. So they form a 3, 4, 7 triple, and this triple eliminates 3s, 4s, and 7s from all other open cells in this row. In other words, this means that the other 3 open cells in row 7 form a 1, 2, 9 triple. This cell sees 2 and 1, so it must be a 9. Okay, another way to kind of spot all of this is actually just by looking at where 1 and 2 go in row 7. Because this cell, okay, remember that in block 4, the digit 1 is forced into column 1. So this cell cannot contain 1 or 2. This cell sees 1 and 2, and these 2 cells also see 1 or 2. So 1 and 2 can only go into these 2 cells in row 7. So to fit both 1 and 2 into row 7, I have to make these 2 cells reserved for 1 and 2. So these 2 cells form a 1-2 pair, which eliminates all other digits from these 2 cells. And we also have the 9, which these cells see another 9. So a lot of ways to kind of prove it. The order doesn't matter. So yeah, anyway, a 9 into this cell because it now sees 1 and 2 from this pair. It sees 3, 4, and 7 from this triple. It also sees 5, 6, and 8, so it can only be a 9. Alright, and then the digit... Whoa. Okay, sorry. Uh, if I speak too fast, it's easier for me to stutter. So yeah, now the digit 9 in block 4 is forced into this cell, which also forces 9 in this cell in block 5, and these 9s point down. Okay, after I place this 9, the digit 2 in block 4 gets forced into this cell. These 2s point down, and this cell sees another 2. So in block 7, the digit 2 is forced into this cell. And then 2 in block 8 is forced into this cell, which makes this cell a 1 because of the one up here. This one points with this one. So 1 is forced into this cell in block 8. 5, 9 pair makes these 3 cells a 3, 4, 7 triple, but this cell sees 3. Actually, it's just that 4, 7, and 8 are the missing digits of block 5, as well as column 6. In these 3 cells, I have the digits 1, 3, and 8 in them, because the 1, 3, and 8 are the missing digits of block 4. Oh, but now, this cell sees 3 from block 4, so this cell cannot be a 3, it can only be a 5, which makes this a 3. This is a 5 to complete the column, which makes this 9 and this a 5, which makes this a 9. Okay, all 9s are placed, as well as the 5s. Okay, now the digit 6 in block 9 is forced into this cell. The last 6 in this Sudoku puzzle is forced into this cell, which makes this cell a 3. 3, 4, and 7 are the missing digits of block 9 and row 8. But this cell sees 4 and 7, so it can only be a 3, leaving a 1, 2 pair in... Oh wait, not 1 and 2. Leaving a 1, 8 pair in column 2, but this cell sees an 8. So 1 and 8 are placed like this. And then 4 and 7 are the missing digits of block 7. So now the digit 3 in block 9 is forced into this cell. and 3 in block 8 is forced into this cell, which makes this cell 8 and this a 7 to complete column 8. 1, 2, and 8 are the missing digits of block 3, but 8 is forced into this cell, which forces the digit 8 into this cell in block 5 and into this cell in block 4. 3 and 1 like this. 4, 7, which makes up here this cell a 4. This cell now sees 4, so it's 7, 4, 7, 4, 7, 4. This cell is a 4 to complete the row. 2 and 3 are the missing digits of row 5, but this cell needs a 3. So 2 and 3 this way. 1, 2, 7, 1, and this Sudoku puzzle is complete. Alright, so I finished today's New York Times Hard Sudoku in about 14 minutes. So I would say this Sudoku puzzle is mostly straightforward, but there are some key spots, so I'll go over those right now. Yeah. Let's do a summary of the key spots. So I feel like towards the beginning, the 3-6 pair, was it? Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, I think this... Was it the 3-6 pair? I feel like it was. Yeah, anyway. The 3-6 pair made these 3 cells, 4, 7, and 8. So, there was also the 1-2 pair in block 2, yes. Now, this is not that convenient, because now, I don't really know, like, which cells have given digits. But anyway, I remember that the 3-6 pair gave me the 4, 7, and 8, as well as the 1-2 pair in block 2. And that allowed me to place a 9 and 5, and get some of the digits placed over here. And, yeah. Okay, down here, the 3, 4, 7 triple in row 7, and the 1-2 pair in the same row. So, if you spot one of them, you're gonna spot both the pair and triple, as well as the 9 over here. So yeah, 3, 4, 7 triple and 1-2 pair in row 7, as well as placing the 9 after getting this information. And, oh, this 4 was a naked single 4, because it saw every other digit apart from 4. So 4 was the only possible digits which can go into this cell, so it had to be a 4. Other than these, I don't really recall any tricky spots, so if you have any other questions or difficulties, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to reply you. Hopefully this video helped, and again, I think I've mentioned most of the important key spots, so yeah, in my approach with the detailed explanations, I feel like it's not too tricky, it's mostly approachable and straightforward. So yeah. Hopefully this video helped. Today is March 27th, 2025. In this video, I've solved Wordle number 1377 and New York Times Hard Sudoku for today. See you all next time. Bye!